Bahrain in the books. Let's talk about it next.
Welcome back to another episode of the United States of Formula One. I'm Cookie.
Nicky.
And we're bringing you the post-race coverage. Race number 4, Bahrain.
Amazing race. Can we rate it?
Okay, I like that idea.
Because Japan was a 0.
Japan was a 0.
So I'm going to give it a 9.
Now, there wasn't a lot of collision action.
There was some.
There was a little bit. So, Australia was exciting for me because it was so chaotic. I'm going to give it an 8.2.
8.2. I'll go with 8.3.
Okay. But after a 0, we both agreed Japan was a 0.
Yeah,
and I feel bad saying that because sometimes just the track dictates it. But it was nice to have a refreshing, fun race to watch. And Piastri said, I'm going to be the fastest racer in P1.
I'm going to be the fastest racer all weekend. And I am
P2,
going to dominate
P3,
the world. Yes.
Qualifying. And just win the race. His car was the fastest from the moment it was pulled off the truck.
Yep. Let me ask you this. Is he your number 1 racer right now? Besides Hülkenberg. I mean, are you growing to love Piastri? Because I know you don't like Norris because I love him.
I don't dislike Norris. I just love to bust your chops.
Yes.
I love Hülkenberg, but we know, he's not getting into that too much, but he got DQ'd this week. I don't know if you heard that.
Yeah.
I do like him as far as like a favorite.
Yeah.
Because I love Hülkenberg. I love Hajar is kind of my favorite rookie. Mm-hmm. But if I'm going to take one of those top 3, 4 guys that has a chance to win, who am I pulling for?
Yeah.
I'd say that's accurate.
Okay.
Because you're with Norris. I'm not going to pull for Verstappen. That's too easy.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? I do love Russell, though.
Okay.
I do love Russell. I've been on his train the whole time. But as far as the two, so let's get right into that. Let's get into the drama.
I do want to talk
about the drama
of
McLaren. You would know more about this than me. You're a McLaren boy. You love it through and through.
Well, the number 1 driver is Lando Norris.
Is it?
But is it?
Is it?
So what do they do now? What do they do now that they're so close?
Well, what's going on there?
Are you talking about the love of Zach Brown switching? Because he hugs. He would hug Norris in that same.
Yes, I'm saying we can create drama out of this picture. Whatever we wanted to say. Obviously, he's hugging the champion, the victor of the race. But this creates drama. Who do you think right now there is a true number 1 with McLaren in their minds? Closed door meetings.
Closed door meetings. They are going to be fighting at this point. I think you have to fight. You're too close. I think you don't. Like they said, they have 2 number 1 drivers, and I think they do. It's actually really legit now.
I hope they stick with it. I hope that unless one of them starts running away with it, if Piastri parlays this into a couple more victories, and suddenly he's up 20, 30 points.
Yeah, well, then he's the number 1 driver.
Then he's a number 1.
Yeah.
But when you're within a couple points, you let them race, as long as they're not getting wild and wrecking each other out.
Ooh, the grid.
The grid. This was nice because it wasn't like the way like in Japan, the way they qualify is the way that they finish.
Yes.
There was a little more excitement here.
Lots of moves.
Obviously, with Mercedes, they both had a little penalty there, so they started 2-4. They really started 3-5.
Yeah.
Is there a disappointment here that you can see from the grid? I'm not saying how they finished in the race. I'm saying in qualifying, is there a disappointment?
Albon, and I would say Lawson. So Lawson, you like him.
Right.
He had a problem with DRS in qualifying where it shut off. So he has not made it out of Q1 at all this season.
He should be getting into Q2 every week.
I blame it was the car. He was pretty quick all weekend, so I don't really, it's just, that's bad luck. But Albon, on the other hand, has got into Q3 every time this session, and he didn't this time. So
I know Boogie's biggest disappointment, he told me off camera, was Lance Stroll.
I think so.
Because he wanted him to qualify 20th, and he was 19th, so he was upset about that.
Yeah.
I think, and we'll tease this now and get into it later, that Behrman is the biggest disappointment because he's been creeping up, doing well for a rookie, and to qualify 20th.
Yeah. And then Ocon crashes, so you would think
I mean, look at Haas. They're out of it.
Haas has no chance
Haas
to even put points on the board this week, right?
They're just going to have a Kick-Sauber-esque weekend. Let's get into what our podium predictions were
we did
for this race.
Yeah.
So we saw the grid. Now let's see. So you had...
I had Piastri winning.
Okay.
Lando Norris coming in second.
Okay.
And George Russell coming in third, which I did pick the podium.
I was going to say, my recollection is correct.
Did pick the podium. I just mixed up 2-3.
So if you flip-flop 2-3, you nailed it, Nicky.
I know.
Now, let's get into Cookie's picks.
Oh, yep.
I had Lando winning, Russell second, Piastri third.
Which you got 1 out of 3 as well, which is not bad.
Just another flip-flop.
Still picked the podium, so I'm going to say that's pretty good.
So you think because of that, we would go into DraftKings or at whatever site, and we would win some money. We did not.
Yeah.
Again. But we did what we knew we needed to do. We picked Piastri to win. Mm-hmm. We picked Russell second.
And we put Kimi Antonelli third for some reason.
Because it didn't pay anything. We needed a wild card to finish off that podium.
Yeah.
And Antonelli, he started fifth. We thought he had a fast car. I mean, we'll get into that. I mean, he looked great.
Antonelli looks...
Let's get into that right now. Antonelli looked great.
Are you giving him props now, finally? Because I think you...
Yes.
Because he passed the GOAT during the race. He
Yes.
passed Max Verstappen.
He made a great move on Verstappen. He embarrassed him.
Yeah,
Now, at that time, Verstappen was on the hards, and he was complaining about all sorts of stuff. Red Bull had issues all day. But, I mean, he made a great move on him.
Oh, one of my favorite rookies.
I think...
I have 2. He's number 1.
He's definitely... I was hoping Hajar would do well. He's definitely supremely
You got to remember, though, he
him.
is in a Mercedes. So, if
Second
you
fastest car on the
put
track.
if you put Hajar and you mix them, I think Hajar does just as good in that Mercedes.
Maybe. I don't know. I like Antonelli's style.
I do, too.
He's not scared at all as a young pup. Speaking of morons... what is going... Look at the picture.
It happens. This happens.
Is this on him or is this on his team?
No, that is on him 100%. So
Okay.
that's on him. And the thing is once you line up like that, you don't back up, you're done. You pretty much know you're going to get a penalty and you're just going to
Do you think he knew he pulled up too far right away and was like, I can't stick my foot out the bottom of the car and
push myself backwards? Yeah, so that happened. And then you know who the first person was to call him out on it?
Had to be Verstappen.
Yep.
Of course. Well, that just shows
Lando's over the line.
He wants the penalty to be called.
Yeah.
He's very observant. Verstappen sees it all. He's a genius out there, but he's also a little bit of a dick, and he's not going to let Lando get away with it.
I love the way Verstappen talks, too.
But Lando...
Verstappen, yeah, he goes, Lando's over the line. He kind of sounds like he has like a little Arnold Schwarzenegger in him. I don't know, I love him.
Sounds like Ivan Drago from Rocky IV.
Yeah, that's probably a
little bit. But Lando fought back. So he had to serve that on his first pit. I love that when they sit there for 5 seconds, can't touch the car. And he went back and he immediately made that time up.
I mean, he started the race too in 6th and almost was immediately in 3rd. So, and then
by turn 4, he went from 6th to 3rd.
Yeah, which is amazing.
That was excitement we saw. There were some other moves. Behrman, that was how Behrman went from 20th to 15th
in the first lap. So, yeah.
So, are there any surprises here? We looked at the grid. We had some surprises there. Any surprises to you here?
Biggest surprise, Yuki Tsunoda, actually in the points.
Yeah.
So
quit disrespecting him.
It's luck.
So I said during the stock show last week that if he finished 11th, I would hold.
Yep.
12th or worse, sell.
And you said and I guess you got to buy.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler, I guess
you
you're
watch
buying
that episode, I'm going to be buying some Yuki.
Yeah.
I would say my biggest surprise is Ollie.
Yeah.
Because he went from 20th to 10th. Once he was the slowest car of the week. When he moved up 5 spots even in the first lap, I didn't think much of it.
Yeah.
But then to finish in the points is crazy. Gasly, not really a surprise to me because you and I called it.
We called it. We said hard.
Gasly and Alpine were due to finally score some points. Mm-hmm. And he doesn't. Now, he qualified, remind me, was it
Gasly, they put him, he was 5th, they put him in 4th because of this penalty.
Because of the penalty. Qualified 4th, so he did drop a bit. So I wouldn't say it was a great race compared to his qualifying, but he's in the points, and that's what you got to do.
He is, and Max Verstappen, the last turn past him
as
well. So, and then what about Esteban Ocon? He crashes and starts 14th. It should have been 15th, but he starts 14th and then ends up inside the points. So Haas, double points for you.
Stop
Double
it.
points for
That's
you.
for you. He was rubbing it in my face for the double Haas points. I was so excited when they qualified 14th and 20th. But
Yeah.
God, they really.
Well, look at this now. I mean,
Okay, the
look
driver standings.
at the drivers. Piastri pulls ahead of Verstappen,
Yes.
and he is on Lando's
That is beautiful.
ass.
And that goes back into my point. Who's the number one? You have to, when they're within 3 points, you got to let them race. There has to be meetings of let's be reasonable about it, guys. We have to focus on the constructors, which they're dominating right now.
Yeah.
But it's a 4-man race right now.
Go back to Australia. Let's go back to Australia, really, and just for shiz and gigs.
Okay.
He doesn't. If it's not raining, they don't put him on the tires. He finishes second in that race, like he should have. Mm-hmm. He'd be leading the driver's standing.
He'd be leading it by about 15 points.
Yeah.
Because he got 10th. We get 10th.
Yeah, he came back to get a
He
point.
scrambled to get a point on that one just because of that spin out. Yeah, I would. And then the question is he the number one? One spin out away from potentially being the number one. Now you have Verstappen. He's getting forgotten again. I know he won last week, but he's not far back in the standings.
He is not.
He wins
one
next
race.
week.
Yeah, one race. But what about your boy George Russell?
He's just sneaky.
He's right there.
I think he's going to struggle to win a race this year. I just think between as fast as McLaren is, one of them is always going to be on top. He's finishing second or third every damn race and just banking points, getting forgot about. He's in the freaking room. Did you see him actually?
When he took his shirt off?
Yeah.
He took his shirt off?
They're sitting there relaxing, getting some water.
He's like,
He
"Hold
peels
on
it
a
off and he
second."
had some sort of like cooling system through his back. And then all of a sudden he rips it off. And there was a comment online, someone said, does he think he's at home right now? I think he realized it because he was shirtless and then he threw his racing suit back on.
He turned around though. He knew, so he turned around. But
He didn't want to show
I was hoping he was good. I would have liked to see it.
I mean, all these guys are buff. I wasn't
Good-looking man.
wasn't upset about it. So that is my goal for him. I want Russell
To win a race?
to win a race. Keep racking up those podiums.
I think you will, because you're gonna get some upgrades. I wouldn't count, Leclerc, Hamilton really out yet. They're gonna get. They brought a little upgrade this week.
Yeah.
Another one's coming for next week.
I just thought more. You were talking to me about that upgrade. I thought we were going to get better than another 5th, 7th finish. We're always in the points, but it's just kind of mediocre for Ferrari.
Yeah.
For where they expected to be, the money they put in these racers. I mean, Stroll, Boogie's buddy.
Yeah, well, Ocon's
Still
above him,
in the top 10.
Yeah, that's
Still in the top 10.
We won't even talk about that guy.
Who?
Yeah, who exactly?
So let's parlay this. It's going to be pretty logical from here, where we're going to be sitting here. McLaren slaughtering already. When do they have it? Okay, not mathematically clinched, but when do you know that the constructors' race is over? Race number.
It could. So it probably won't be until race 18 through 20.
Well,
I think if they keep going like this, it's going to be quicker. But I know Red Bull is going to fix some stuff. Ferrari is going to fix some stuff. Mercedes, everybody's going to add upgrades. So, I mean, they need to get about above 500 points, and they're going to get it locked up.
Yeah.
Last year, 666 locked it up.
I'm
for
saying,
them, so
yes, I think it's going to be mathematically clinched somewhere in that 20th race.
Yeah.
But I think by about race 10, we're going to say, this is over.
Yeah.
They're going to be up by 200 points.
Yeah.
And you're going to say, unless the cars explode or there's a huge issue. So this is, to me, it's really a race for second and third.
Yeah. Yep.
And
if Yuki continues to get points for Red Bull, that helps them because it's Team Verstappen, like you said.
Not anymore.
Yeah.
Yuki said, no more Team Verstappen. I finished 9th.
Yeah, we'll see what happens next week.
And I got to give your credit to your Haas. You said they were going to finish 5th after race number 4. They are
5th.
double points this week.
Everybody said I was crazy that they were going to be 5th ahead of Aston Martin.
And everyone said we were crazy. You said they were going to finish 7th, Aston Martin. I said 8th. They're tracking that way.
Oh, and if Racing Bulls, you get Liam. If Isaac can keep racing like he's racing, I mean, he didn't do good this week, and Lawson can turn it up and do something.
Liam's going to get his shit together. He's stressed from Red Bull, then to the Racing Bulls. He's back and forth. He's going to get his shit together, but I think they'll pass him. I think you have Aston Martin. And what if Gasly keeps performing well?
Well, they're on the board. They're on the board.
Could Aston Martin finish 9th?
I hope so.
I mean, they're not going to finish 10th because Nico's got that baby locked up tight.
Yeah.
Because he's driving the turd of all turd cars. It's certainly not his fault. Other news. I want to get into one more thing.
Okay, let's talk about it.
I haven't told you about this.
Okay.
Surprise.
Oh, yeah. That's my man.
Oliver Behrman. Why do I want to talk about him?
Because he moved up 10 positions?
Yes. More importantly, though, you know how they do the fan voting during the race?
Oh, you're talking about driver of the day?
Driver of the day. Hamilton wins. He did move from 9th to 5th.
Okay.
So I can understand an argument there. When you start 9th and you finish 5th, you're battling some stud drivers to move up in those top 10 positions.
I agree.
But if you move 20 positions, or 10 positions, even if it's from 20 to 10, doesn't that deserve driver of the day?
Yeah, driver of the day is a favorite fan club. Yuki won it last week, shouldn't have.
Because it was in Japan.
I don't think it means anything. It's voted for by the fans. It's I think that Hamilton got 20% of the vote. So what is he getting? 150 people voting. It's probably the same. Probably the same girl.
We were there, and both Lucas and my son Nolan both.
Did they vote?
They both voted.
Who did they vote for?
They both voted for.
Verstappen? Hamill?
No.
Piastri?
Nolan voted for Behrman.
Okay.
And I can't remember who Lucas did. But I know it's a popular contest. I know it doesn't matter. It's nothing with the points. It's just more of a dramatic thing to talk about. I agree with Hamilton.
Ew.
I know. Just because.
I get your logic on it. It's harder to move in those top 10
Is it hard to pass Bortoletto and Hulkenberg and Stroll?
Hulkenberg and Bortoletto were lost. They were in last place by the first lap.
Immediately.
So, immediately. That car is dog doo-doo.
So I just think it's harder to pass the studs. So I don't know.
That's
my thought.
Rookie, what it is. You know what we need to talk about, though?
What?
Yuki Tsunoda, Carlos Sainz. Carlos Sainz didn't finish the race because of Yuki Tsunoda.
Yes. Well, he had a gigantic hole in the side of his car.
Yes, which caused a safety car.
I was hoping you would see something in there like luggage.
There was.
Or like human remains. Like, what's behind
an arm. Yuki's arm, anyway.
Who's to blame for that?
Yuki
and Sainz collide. Sainz is the only DNF of the race, by the way.
Yeah, and it was because of Yuki. I blame Yuki Tsunoda on that 100%. So
Sainz blamed him.
Yeah.
Sainz came out and was pretty adamant that it was fault.
It was. He ran his tire into the side of him and blew a hole into it. How was that not his fault?
Do you know who I blame?
I know who you're going to blame. You're going to blame the driver.
No one. I don't blame anyone. You know why? Because the FIA did their investigation, and if there was someone to blame, they're pretty strict.
Which we trust everything that the FIA.
I think that Salami is an idiot, but
Salami?
Salami.
That's his name.
They are very strict. They nail everybody for everything. If Yuki was to blame, they would have pinned him down to blame him.
Yeah, well, they should have done something. You know what? FIA felt bad. They didn't want to give him a penalty because he was in the points, and they wanted to throw Red Bull a bone, a salami bone.
I don't think Salami has a bone. I don't know where we're going with this. Any last-minute things you want to talk about? Any surprises?
No, I don't think. I think we pretty much covered it. We went live.
That's what I wanted to talk about.
We did go live.
I was trying to throw a softball there.
We're live now.
Yes, we're live on YouTube.
Yep, we went live on TikTok like we said we were going to, and we got kicked off.
We got punished for a little bit. We're still learning the rules of going live. We can go live next race.
So we'll be able to go live next race.
Yeah,
luckily, the boot comes off at 11:18 is when we got kicked off, and the race doesn't start till 1. So
perfect.
Which actually works out perfect.
Because of the timing of the race.
Yeah.
And it's in Saudi, so we got some time.
Yeah.
But we did get a 1 week little.
Apparently,
be better.
We know some words that you can't say. We joked about getting. Can we say it?
I don't think we said anything. There was no perversion. There was no bad words. It was just. I think it was innuendo.
Yeah.
Innuendo. Nothing worse than we say here.
I was going to say. Yeah.
And there's handsome men in F1 that I talk about.
We just have to be really careful. The rules on TikTok are a little higher than YouTube here, so we'll be better.
We got kicked off TikTok because of a malfunction. It wasn't our fault. Just like Red Bull's box lights.
Red Bull's box lights.
You said that because of the chaos of the box, so the lights weren't working right.
Yes.
Max had like a 6 seconds change, which has never happened in his life. Then they got the guy holding it manually. That didn't work. So you want to bring back?
I want to bring back the Lollipop Girls. So
Explain
it's
that to the
so
viewers.
it is a girl that holds a sideways sign that says "Use brakes," and then she just rotates that little thing to green, and then you go. Plus, it's a Lollipop Girl. So.
Well, and now they try technology takes over because we don't want human error. But if we're going to have as much technology issues as we had, those lights weren't working. The DRS was struggling all week.
Yeah.
Russell's car was completely jacked. He's pressing to communicate with the team, and his DRS is opening.
Yeah, that was horrible.
So
We couldn't even have live. We didn't even know what was going on. All of a sudden, George Russell drops down to 20th place,
we were
and we're freaking out.
He
We're
went
like,
20,
what
and it
just happened.
But it was so fast you could tell it wasn't real because
Yeah.
there was such a gap between the racers, and he went from 2 to
Yeah.
in about 3 seconds. So yeah, then they were manually typing it on the other side.
I'm like, did he crash? What's going on? These
know.
announcers suck.
Yeah, and they didn't mention anything, and then they're like, something's wrong because Russell's still in second place.
So,
He talked just like that. But I think we go back to some analog stuff. I like the Lollipop Girls.
Lollipop Girls.
I think we go like Wrigley Field and we just have
little
manually
manual
put in the
signs.
score. I think this technology is causing a lot of grief.
Yeah, better fix it. Be better.
Yeah.
Salami.
Yes. Anyhow, we love the race better than Japan, and I'm praying to God Saudi keeps that momentum going.
It's gonna.
I'll see you next time. Love ya.
Follow us on YouTube at the United States of F1, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at United States F1. Copyright Brugman Media Limited 2025.